The day my son received a scholarship from one of the richest men in the country, I thought it was nothing but a blessing. Cameras flashed, people clapped, and my boy smiled brighter than I had ever seen him. But what I didn't know, standing in that crowded hall, was that the man shaking his hand wasn't just a billionaire CEO, he was my son's father. And the truth about why he left us would change everything. Life had been anything but easy for me and my son, Samuel. I was a single mother, struggling to keep up with bills while working 2 jobs, just to put food on the table. Samuel was only 10, but he had the kind of brilliance that could light up a room. He loved books, math, and solving puzzles that most grown-ups couldn't even attempt. Teachers told me he had the mind of a genius, but without money, genius didn't buy textbooks or school fees. Then came the day that changed everything. Our community announced a scholarship program run by one of the country's most successful CEOs, a billionaire known for giving opportunities to underprivileged children. Hundreds applied, but somehow Samuel's application stood out. I held my breath the day of the award ceremony, sitting in the crowded auditorium as names were called. And then it happened. Samuel Adeyemi, the announcer said. My son walked proudly to the stage, beaming with joy as he shook hands with the man everyone admired. The cameras flashed, the crowd cheered, and Samuel clutched his certificate like it was a golden ticket to a new life. Tears rolled down my cheeks as I whispered to myself, we made it. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe, like and comment what you think will happen next. The CEO's name was Richard Lawson, and he was nothing short of a legend. People said he came from nothing and built an empire with his bare hands. To the world, he was a symbol of success, proof that hard work and determination could change a life. When I saw him on that stage with Samuel, I felt an overwhelming wave of gratitude. He wasn't just giving my son a scholarship, he was giving him a future. After the ceremony, Richard shook hands with me. His grip was strong, but his eyes lingered longer than expected. There was something almost familiar in the way he looked at Samuel, as though he wasn't just proud of giving out an award, but proud of the boy himself. At the time, I brushed it off as kindness, but I couldn't shake the strange feeling in my chest. Over the following weeks, Samuel was invited to special programs organized by Richard's foundation. He had tutors, new books, even mentorship opportunities. Every time I saw him with Samuel, the warmth in his eyes unsettled me. Gratitude turned into curiosity. Why did this powerful man care so much? One evening after another event, I decided to stay back while Samuel played with some of the other children. The hall was almost empty when I noticed Richard sitting alone on the steps outside, far away from the cameras and applause. His suit jacket was off, his expensive watch dangling loosely from his wrist. He looked tired, almost broken, a side of him the public never saw. I hesitated, but something pushed me closer. As I approached, I heard him whisper, his voice cracking, I never wanted to leave him. My heart skipped a beat. I stopped in my tracks, staring at him. He looked up suddenly, and for the first time, I saw past the billionaire, the mask of wealth, the charm, the authority. I saw a man I once knew. A man who had disappeared from my life years ago. My breath caught in my throat as the memories rushed back. Richard wasn't just a CEO. He was the man I once loved. The man who had walked out of my life before Samuel was even born. The man who had no idea the boy he had just given a scholarship to was his own son. The shock nearly knocked me off my feet. I wanted to scream, to cry, to demand answers for the years of silence. But all I could do was stare. Richard's face crumpled as he realized I had pieced it together. He tried to speak, but the words tangled in his throat. Finally, he said, I made mistakes. I was young, scared, and foolish. I left you when you needed me most. But I never stopped thinking about you, about what we could have been. My heart pounded with rage and pain. You left me with nothing. I snapped. I raised Samuel on my own, through hunger, through nights of tears, while you built empires. His eyes filled with tears. I didn't know about him, he said softly. If I had known, I would have come back. I swear I would have. My knees nearly buckled. The irony was unbearable. The man the world admired for generosity and vision was the same man who had abandoned me. The same man who had unknowingly given his own child a scholarship. That night, I went home restless, torn between anger and confusion. The following weeks were a blur. Richard reached out constantly, not as a CEO, not as a billionaire, but as a man desperate to reconnect. Samuel, unaware of the storm brewing, adored him. He saw Richard as a mentor, a role model. And slowly, I saw glimpses of something I never expected, sincerity. He attended Samuel's school programs, cheered for him at competitions, and even helped with homework when he could. One evening, Richard came to the house. He sat across from me, his voice steady. I can't change the past. I can't undo the pain I caused. But I want to be here now. For him. For you. Please, let me try. I stared at him, my heart torn between the wounds of yesterday and the possibilities of tomorrow. Samuel came running into the room then, holding both our hands. He looked up with innocent eyes and said, "Can we all be together now?" In that moment, my walls began to crack. Maybe Richard didn't deserve forgiveness. Maybe the scars would never fully heal. But as I looked at my son smiling between us, I realized something. This wasn't just about Richard or me. This was about Samuel. And maybe, just maybe, we had been given a second chance, not just at family, but at redemption. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment for more stories like this.